Welcome to the building blocks of life. I am your boy, Chase Clarence Calloway, aka the root of the symmetry, and you are tuning in to the mind of Mercury so that we can continue our discussions on how spaces use light to articulate their feelings, their thoughts, their emotions, their ideas, and communicate their imagination in a way that makes sense. So far in YG BB, we have white is 0 being the space that is circumstance. Space is nothing, so white is circumstance because it's space separating itself from nothing once it realizes it has nothing. So then we get R, that's red. This is actually 1. So white is 0 because it's circumstance. Circumstance is 0 because everything is contained inside of a spirit circumstance. Your circumstance is your 0 because no one can see the inside of your space except you, the spirit who has the space. So that's the Hermetic, Somatic, Zoroastrian wisdom of actually knowing that 0 is your circumstances, and this is where white is you separating your circumstances from all others. So anyone who identifies as white identifies as a circumstance that's separate from all other spirits. So this is where you get anti-nature type energy, basically, because they don't really believe that they're actually connected to the environment that they're breathing and drinking water and interacting in. So then we get R. That's 1. That's individuality. Red is all about your blood in this case because your individuality is contained inside of your circumstances. So this is why your imagination is so infinite, no one else can see it but you. Okay? So your space is infinite, actually, because it's nothing, but your imagination is the expression of your space wanting to be aware of something. So this is where you actually create the idea, you create the light, you create the ego that fills up your own spirit. This is you realizing already basically who you are, but not actually realizing it because you're not at 9 yet. That's black. But 1 is just you expressing how your circumstances are separate. So you have an imagination inside of your own space that you want to see as an individual. So this is why red is about passion. Okay? Blood is about passion. Everyone is passionate about being an individual, and we're all passionate about expressing our space through these structures that we call bodies. This is then where we get orange being 2, that's connection, because orange is all about organisms organizing their organelles into something that looks pleasant and fun. This is why nightclubs use orange light to make people's skin look much more pleasing. And in general, people like orange tones in skin. There's a whole science behind orange being used to make things look more pleasing. Orange is like the most appetizing color in this way because it's literally about connection. Orange represents an individual space, the white expressing its redness, and then once it has its redness, it can cool itself down to connect its redness with other rednesses. So this is then where we get Goku and Naruto, all right, the 2 biggest anime characters at this point in my life, and basically my whole life. I as Chase Clarence Calloway am 24 years old. So Goku and Naruto have been the biggest. Like that's kind of these 2 characters. There's other ones, but like culturally, that's a whole conversation that we're not even about to get into. Like, I don't need people screaming at me right now. And like this, now what this video is about. The point is, Naruto and Goku are trendsetters. And I'm pretty sure Naruto was inspired by Goku. So the point is, Dragon Ball Z set the trend, basically, for like fighting anime. Straight up. So, Goku and Naruto, their whole energy is that they wear a lot of orange because they are focused on connecting. They're focused on friendship. That's where their ultimate power generally isn't actually beating up people or fighting, even though it is, because that's how they're connecting and they're passionate about expressing themselves. But really, their ultimate superpower is headbutting Gaara just hard enough to turn him into a friend, or beating up Piccolo just enough so that he actually fathers your son. So this is the point of orange being connection, which now brings us to yellow. This is the third color in YGBIV BB. So we know that space, the observer of one's circumstances, creates light so it has something to look at instead of no thing. But this light that is something is always going to come out of no thing, because that's what the observer was observing before they made something to represent how they want their nothingness to look. And then this is where we get the whole concept of true knowledge. True no thing is no thing. Only you know your thing. Only you know what you have created and what you have actually done to contribute to expanding the universe, because everyone else is a consumer of your idea. So when you're a real spirit and you're collecting your past lives, let's say you're on a whole like psychedelic symmetry type quest of connecting with yourself interdimensionally, like that new movie Everywhere Everything All at Once or whatever. I haven't seen it. It looks fire though. This is what it's really about, like knowing your thing. When you know your thing, you're able to vibrationally connect with any, like all the no things, all the nothings, all the somethings, all the things that came out of your no thing. So everything in reality that came out of your no thing, you're going to have a higher knowledge about it. You're going to have way more knowledge about this thing in the environment than anyone else, because you're the creator. That's where I, as Hermes Trismegistus, have way more knowledge about the caduceus and what it means to me cosmically than anyone who's consuming the idea that I'm bringing into a reality. You see like the complete difference? It's just like if you ask a director what they were thinking about when they were making a movie versus asking someone who just ate the movie in the theater because they wanted to hang out with their friends. So white light is the first light a spirit uses to express its individuality. But because white is an expression of a spirit, a space's circumstances, is technically not the first light. As we know, it is the zero light. That's the knowledge, nothing light that's setting the stage, like a blank white piece of paper for all the colors to dance and be drawn upon. So then this is where we know that red is actually the first light that spirit uses to express its imagination inside of its circumstances. Red is the first light, just as fire is the first light. Only you can stop forest fires. Look, only you can be passionate about your individual desires and imagination. No one can see what you want to do in your life. No one can see your imagination. No one can see what you dream about at night except you. No one can see what gets you angry. No one can see what makes your blood boil except you, the spirit observing your own space. So this is where red, we can see in our blood, unites all of life in this simulation, at least for our learning purposes, in how we desire to be seen as individuals. So that's why we have red all inside of our bodies. Our muscles, everything relating with blood is red, because it's the true expression of our ego, the expression of all of us as individuals creating the universe by transforming nothing into something, which manifests as blood and chemistry, and now we get consciousness and conversation, and here we are communicating, all that good stuff. Red shows us that the desire which connects all spirits in existence is the wanting, the literally no better word than desire, to be aware of something other than no thing. If you did not want to be aware of something, you would not be alive, and you would not be attached to all the things that you want to be aware of as a mental body. So spirit is no thing, the observer. White is zero, the circumstance. Red is one, individuality, and orange is two, that's connection. So now that we have yellow, the third color, all right, we've got that recap out the way, very nice. Yellow is special. Yellow is so vibrant and nice because it is the happy, bright chi-old color. Okay, 3 is about the child. So yellow represents the most childish energy that you can have, which is just pure communication. So every star is like a child inside of itself. And this is why when we think about stars being born, we think about children being born, it's a bright yellow light. So yellow represents the color that space uses to communicate its pure joy and exuberance and just purely communicate light. So this is where, although white is not a color in the actual color spectrum, it is all the colors separating from themselves. Yellow is the closest color that we can have to white, because yellow is the result of a spirit getting to make its circumstances express through communication. So even though it expresses itself inside of its circumstances with red, right, and then it gets to connect with other individuals with orange, light is not actually shown out until we communicate, right? This is why you can think about whatever you want. That's your imagination, your individuality, all of your ego stuff. You can connect with yourself however you want. That's all your soul energy, right? That's like your friends and everything. That's your family, right? These are all your feelings. You can feel however you want about yourself. But these things don't really become real until you actually shine them out. And this is you being the child. This is you actually being a child of God for yourself. This is you bringing life to your own mind. And this is the idea of always being a star and getting your yellow light out there for everyone to be dazzled by. And now we can all see you in the sky, and we're going to build some cool stuff with the structure that you are creating just by simply expressing your light. This is how yellow as stars creates the green that we're about to get into in our next episode, which is the nature that exists inside the star to absorb sunlight. So think about how the sun is yellow. The sun is yellow because it's literally space purely expressing, communicating its light into existence. And us as spirits, nature, trees, what we can do is take this light and alchemize it into structures. This is why your body is literally stardust, right? Your body is chemicals. It's like the same chemicals that make up the sun technically. It's just that you're alchemizing them in a conscious way differently than if you were in that star, right? And then that's the whole point of you using your mind to build a body that you can stabilize inside of this atmosphere, because you are literally, that's the whole point of enjoying your life. You use your mind to build a body in this planet, but you can use your mind to go anywhere else. So this is the power of understanding how stars work, understanding how you as a star can travel to any other star. And all stars are created by spirits who have their own mind, and they want to communicate light in their own way. So now we have each planet having its own energy, right? Because it's all about the spaces that are actually using their individual minds to build a structure out of their communication. Therefore, yellow is created by a spirit who is happy to shine the light of its mind through pure, energetic communication. Sunlight is white yellow. It looks very white because it's so bright. That's where we get the brightness, dimness. White is bright, black is dim, but really it's all colors. And then that's where we know that white is the ego and black is the soul. One cannot exist without the other, and colors exist in between white and black. The spirit, nothing is black and white. Everything is colorful. Welcome to Colorful Consciousness. Gang, gang, gang. We already know that yellow can be so bright, it can look like white. And that's the point of us being able to correlate white and yellow, correlate 0 and 3, and correlate how the spirit creates a mind to shine its chi, shine its frequency, bring energy to its frequency based on how it connects with itself. So this is then the vibration. All stars are energy vibrating at a certain frequency. And now we can transform this energy into something that works for us, right? We can eat, we can drink, we can poop, we can create life with each other, we can build structures, we can do all this stuff, but it's all because this star system, we're all inside of stars right now, they all have their own energy. So we're all able to alchemize this energy, and that's where we get science. chemistry, right? The whole idea of just manipulating reality to serve you as a human. This is what men do. So yellow light is used to express pure joy, happiness, and youthful exuberance. This is because yellow represents how we are all, hopefully happy, children of ourselves when we are communicating the dreams that we connect upon internally into the external reality. Now, on the negative side, yellow can inspire feelings of uneasiness or anxiety, like a child attending their first day of school. All spiritual children can get quite nervous when the pressure and attention is on us to be able to communicate intelligently everything that we're thinking and feeling from the internal environment that only we can see into the external environment for all the stage, all the world to see. The pressure is especially strong when we are expected to always communicate in a way that warms and pleases the hearts of the spirits that we are connecting with at any given moment. Thus, yellow shows us that being a star is a joyous yet nerve-wracking experience at times. I will see you in the next episode if you come back, because we are about to continue getting into YG Biv BB and explain what happens once a spirit uses yellow to communicate its light from the internal into the external. I'll see you later.